What if your peaceful neighborhood turned into a hunting ground, not for a serial killer, but a beast from the wild? Picture this: a quaint, serene village nestled in the heart of Japan, where tranquility is a way of life. This tranquility, however, was shattered over the course of 6 harrowing days. This peaceful haven was transformed into a hunting ground, not by a human, but by a creature from the wild. A bear, you might guess. Yes, but not just any bear. This was a demon bear, a beast whose ferocity and cunning had never been seen before in the annals of animal attacks in Japan. 7 lives were lost, others wounded, marking this as the worst animal attack in the country's history. The villagers initially could not believe what was happening. How could a bear wreak such havoc? The first reports were met with disbelief, even horror. The idea that a bear, a creature they had lived alongside for generations, could turn into such a ruthless predator was unthinkable. But as the days passed, the reality of the situation became chillingly clear. The bear was not just hunting for food, it was hunting for sport. It was not an ordinary beast driven by hunger or territorial instincts. This was something far more malevolent, a creature that seemed to take pleasure in the fear and chaos it was causing. The demon bear of Japan did not just attack, it stalked its victims, it terrorized the village, turning day into a time of fear and night into a time of sheer terror. The village, once a symbol of peace and tranquility, was now held hostage by a beast from the wild. This was not just a bear, it was a demon in the disguise of a bear, turning a serene village into a living nightmare. Day 1, the calm before the storm. As the sun rose over the peaceful village, an unexpected visitor made its entrance. A solitary bear, larger and more menacing than any they had seen before, appeared on the outskirts. This was not an unusual sight, as bears were known to roam these parts, but there was something different about this one, something foreboding. The villagers, initially taken aback, soon resumed their daily routines. After all, this was not their first encounter with the wilderness that surrounded them. They kept a watchful eye, but continued their lives as normal, trusting in the harmony that had always existed between them and the creatures of the forest. But as the day turned into night, an uneasy feeling settled in. Whispers of the bear's unusual size and demeanor circulated among the villagers, but they shrugged it off, attributing it to exaggeration and fear. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a horrifying ordeal. As the sun rose on the second day, so did the reign of terror. The demon bear of Japan had arrived, and its savage rampage was only just beginning. On the second day, the first reports of the bear's horrific attacks began to trickle in. A farmer, out in the fields at dawn, was the first victim. His mauled body was discovered hours later, a grim testament to the bear's ferocity. The village was stunned, reeling from the shock of this brutal intrusion into their peaceful existence. By the third day, the demon bear had claimed 2 more lives. A mother and her young son, their home invaded, their lives tragically cut short. The villagers could hardly comprehend the scale of the horror unfolding. The bear, it seemed, was unstoppable. Attempts to capture or kill the beast were futile. Groups of brave men ventured into the surrounding wilderness, armed with whatever weapons they could find. But the bear was cunning, elusive. It left no trace of its whereabouts, only the chilling echoes of its savage attacks. The fear among the villagers grew palpable. They barricaded their homes, dared not venture out after dark. Yet, the bear seemed to strike at will, its attacks indiscriminate, its victims chosen at random. The once vibrant village was now shrouded in a cloak of dread and despair. On the 4th day, another life was claimed. A lone fisherman, his boat found drifting on the tranquil lake, his body horrifically mauled. The village was in the grip of an unending nightmare, their daily lives overshadowed by the constant threat of the demon bear. Attempts to seek help from the outside world were made, but the remote location of the village, nestled deep within the mountains, made it difficult for aid to reach them quickly. The villagers were left to fend for themselves, their only hope lying in their collective strength and courage. With each passing day, the village was losing its battle against the beast. The reign of terror continued, the demon bear remained at large, and the villagers were left to wonder, would they ever see the dawn of a new day free from fear? Days 5 and 6, the final stand. As dawn broke on the 5th day, the beleaguered town held its collective breath. The demon bear had brought them to their knees, but there was a glimmer of hope. The townsfolk had a plan, a desperate last-ditch effort to rid themselves of the beast that had caused such devastation. A group of brave souls, armed with whatever they could find, stood ready to face the bear. They knew the odds were against them, but they had resolved to end the reign of terror. The air was thick with tension, the silence only broken by the occasional whisper of the wind. Just as the sun began to set, a guttural growl echoed through the deserted streets. The demon bear had returned. The final battle was about to begin. Fear gripped the hearts of the brave, yet they stood their ground, their determination unwavering. The fight was fierce and brutal. The bear, seemingly impervious to their attacks, fought with a ferocity that matched its demonic reputation. But the townsfolk were relentless. They fought with everything they had, their courage fueled by the memory of those they'd lost. As the sixth day dawned, the unimaginable happened. The demon bear, the beast that had seemed invincible, finally fell. The town was eerily quiet, save for the labored breathing of the exhausted survivors. The terror of the past 6 days had finally come to an end. The victory, however, was bittersweet. The town had lost 7 of its own, and many more were wounded. The scars of the battle were etched on the faces of the survivors, a grim reminder of the price they'd paid. The demon bear was vanquished, but at a heavy price. The beast was dead, but the scars it left were far from healed. In the wake of the terror, the small Japanese village was a tableau of devastation and loss. 7 lives were brutally cut short, their absence echoing through the quiet streets. The survivors mourned, their grief a palpable shroud over the village. Heart-wrenching cries pierced the silence as families held memorials for their loved ones, honoring their lives and the joy they once brought. While the mourning continued, the village also began the arduous task of recovery. People banded together, their collective spirit refusing to be quashed by the tragedy. Homes were rebuilt, streets cleared, and the semblance of normalcy slowly started to return. Yet with each repaired structure, each cleaned street, the reminders of the horror that had unfolded were erased, leaving an unsettling emptiness in its wake. The attack had a profound impact on the villagers. Fear lurked in the shadows of every corner, every rustle in the forest a chilling reminder of the demon bear. The once close-knit community was fractured, trust eroded by the shared trauma. Parents held their children tighter. Elders whispered prayers under their breath, and the youth stared at the surrounding wilderness with wary eyes. Yet, amid the fear and sorrow, resilience emerged. The villagers, though scarred, were survivors. They found strength in their shared experiences, in their determination to rebuild and continue. The village became a symbol of endurance, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity. The bear was more than a physical entity, it was a specter that had instilled terror and shattered lives. It had turned a peaceful village into a battleground, a home into a site of horror. But it had also highlighted the indomitable spirit of the villagers, their capacity to endure, to rebuild, and to thrive despite their harrowing ordeal. The village had survived, but it would never be the same. The echoes of the demon bear's reign would forever be a part of its history, a dark chapter that shaped its present and would undoubtedly influence its future. What becomes of a village that survived the wrath of a demon bear? In the wake of the horror, the village bore the scars of the encounter, forever altered by the terror that had unfolded. The demon bear had left an indelible mark on the community, a haunting legacy that permeated every corner of the village. However, in the face of such adversity, the villagers found strength in unity, their resilience shining through the darkness. In the aftermath, measures were taken to prevent such a tragedy from recurring. The local authorities, with support from the Environment Ministry, implemented advanced wildlife deterrent systems, including the innovative use of robot wolves. This technological marvel, originally designed to protect farmlands, was adapted to safeguard the village, a testament to the ingenuity born out of necessity. The demon bear incident served as a stark lesson about the delicate balance of the natural world. It reminded the villagers, and indeed the world, of the respect owed to the wild and the creatures that inhabit it. It underscored the need for coexistence, for maintaining a respectful distance from the wilderness, and for the constant vigilance required to ensure the safety of human settlements. The demon bear of Japan, a chilling tale of survival and resilience that stands as a stark reminder of the thin line between man and beast.